Hey, hello everyone. Hello folks. Today we have Mr. Bharathi Shekar, who's a director of product management at Zeta Suite. And before that, he has been holding a lot of product management experience uh, in various companies, in Ola, in G, and PwC, and several other companies. And also, he's a pass out from IIT Madras, and also he's has a holding a MBA degree from IIM Lucknow. So welcome Bhati to our podcast today.
Hey, thank you, Rupesh. Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Sure. And so we'll go ahead with our, today obviously our intention of having a podcast with you is to know how do you guys manage your product life cycle, how many products do you manage, what are the life cycle, in the life cycle, how do you manage your teams, how do you manage your processes, how do you manage the different tools, and obviously the cost part of it, which is always most important from the management angle, that how well we are managing the cost of the teams. So I want to know from you initially that how many products you're managing, what kind of life cycle, what is your life cycle in the product management over there?
Got it. So I think, okay, just to give, I'll probably have to set context about what Zeta does. I mean, Zeta is, we offer modern cloud native card processing, debit card and credit card processing products to banks. So the context being that the last time somebody wrote a new credit card or a debit card processing system was back in the 60s. So all of the current systems that banks are using today are at least a good 50, 60 years old, and there's a need to modernize them. So that's what we offer at the core. From Zeta standpoint, we offer a credit card processing stack, a debit card processing stack. We also offer a bunch of payment products, both on the issuing side and on the acquiring side. So I would probably classify, say that within Zeta, we are a very large and a complex organization because we provide multiple technologies for banks. I mean, although I've classified them into four rough buckets, but within Zeta, there are very complex products. So I primarily look at payment products, right, covering both the acquiring and the issuing side. Roughly, the team that I manage is roughly about 20 product managers. So we look at specific areas on payments, both on the issuing side, acquiring side, and also data side. And that's the team that I manage. And I'm currently focused on building some of these products. Although in my past, I've handled, other processing stacks as well at Zeta. So tools keep changing.
Got it. Got it. Okay. And then, how do you, since we are, this podcast is all about seeing, how we are getting bug-free product releases. How do you guys, in the initial sense, how do you manage your teams that, you're not having too many production issues, you're not getting midnight calls or SMS or WhatsApp messages that, hey, these are the issues you're having in the product, in the whatever, I think you're managing about 2 to 4 products now, along with your team of about 20 product managers. How do you ensure that one?
Yeah, so I think it varies from the stage at which the product is in. Usually, at the beginning, when the product is in the 0 to 1 stage, people are writing a lot and lot of code, both from the developer side and also from the QA side. So that time, in those stages, the investment in quality is slightly higher, right? Because our goal is to get a very good test coverage. So we want to make sure that when we are doing a 0 to 1 product, by the time the product lands at our customer, it has gone through multiple testing phases. And also, when the customer gets it, they get a very highly reliable and a fully functional product. In those stages, the releases are also very staggered in the sense that, because we deal with people's money, we make sure that the first few iterations of the product are available only to a closed user group, right? So it might be a closed user group outside our company, but not everybody in the general public would get access to our products. So we typically do that for a good 6-month period where our products are completely tested and vetted by a closed user group. And in this time is where we invest a lot in testing. That is, we have unit test cases, we have um, black box testing, white box testing. We also invest in a system integration test team, which is
Okay.
uh, which is responsible to make sure that as a product there is cohesive testing done across all functional modules, and that's a big problem for us because we are roughly anywhere between every product that we ship, there are at least about 250 to 300 engineers involved, roughly about 20 to 30 squads involved, each squad being anywhere between 7 to 8 engineering plus product teams, or going up to like 15 to 20 product to engineering and design teams. So it's very difficult for us to, get think about one side of the banking ecosystem and launch anything. A lot of things get caught in the system integration layer. So we invest a lot there. So that takes care of the functional side. The other areas where we have to invest a lot also in is load testing, performance testing, and making sure that our systems are very reliable. Which means that as a company, we have invested a lot also in chaos engineering. So we want to
Okay.
make sure that that's a phase as well. This is all part of the 0 to 1 phase. While we look at getting the functional pieces out, which itself is a mammoth work, we take some time out to get our reliability in. And and after that, the product is made available to the closed user group. They use our product for a good 6 months. So we don't launch anything to the public till we have really soaked the product internally with, like, 100, 200 users for a good 6 months. Because ultimately it's about money, and even a rupee or a cent here and there, and that we are working with banks, right? So
Got it.
be very careful because banks are regulated entities. So we do this process, and only once we have a complete clear sign off from the closed user group, we make the product available again in a very controlled manner, in whatever means. It could be launching a app on Play Store, App Store, or it could be about launching a website. It could be any of these that we do in a controlled manner. After this, so this is a time where we have actually done a 0 to 1. When we move from 1 to n, we start looking at efficiencies. That is, there is no longer need to write so many test cases, right? It's more about catching up with new functionalities. And yeah, during this time is when the focus on efficiency is there from a testing standpoint, where we see that, what can we do to make sure that test cases are written, and we try to shift left, which is, can we catch all the bugs right at the beginning as soon as the code is written, right? So we try to do some of these both from a process standpoint and tool standpoint, and that's a journey we are going through in because most of the products are now getting to 1 to n phase, and we are in the journey.
Okay, got it. And at the same time, I understand, Bhati, you might not be working on too many new products. You might be more working on incremental changes to existing products or Zeta Suite. Is that right?
No, we so as I said, we have multiple products, right? So
Okay.
there are certain products which are in the 1 to n stage. For
Okay.
example, one of the products that I'm working on right now is has already hit the 0 to 1 stage. We have launched a product for a large bank which
Oh,
has about 3 million users. So now we have crossed that milestone. Now we are trying to see how we can help the bank take it to the next 30, 40 million and all of that. So from that standpoint, that one particular product is at the 1 to n stage, but the rest of them that I spoke about, they're still in 0 to 1 stage. They're in the CUG1 stage where we are doing the product, and we are going into the mode where testing is much more thorough. We are probably doing chaos engineering. We are probably automating test cases. So some of those are going on.
okay. Okay. Got it. Got it. Okay. So basically, you guys you're managing the portfolio of both kind of 0 to 1 and 1 to n stage kind of thing, both
Yes,
kind of
yes,
products. Got it.
yeah.
Okay, wonderful. And then, if I may ask, what is the biggest mistake in the production releases you might have done in your journey, and how you have what did you learn from that experience?
Okay, so see there. I mean, we have actually made multiple mistakes. So we, if I can take one example, like there are small things, like there have been times where we launched a product and enabled it to a good 50, 60 people, or slightly more than them, right? We shouldn't have done that. We should have launched and controlled the release for a very small set, and then we should have increased. So some minor mistakes like that typically happens when we are trying to move fast. We are trying to launch multiple things in one shot. But I think the biggest learning for us has been, not investing in chaos testing earlier than we should have.
Okay.
So, we relied a lot on, performance testing, stress testing, to make sure that our products were, very reliable. But I think bringing chaos engineering to some extent really helped us, also pushed us to think from all situations. There could be failures at some point in time. Somebody wiped out the database. How will the system perform, right? So handle gracefully. So things like that pushed us, and those are very critical for the industry that we are operating in. I think that's one thing that we have learned, and now that has become a BAU for. So every other product that we are launching in 0 to 1, we are bringing chaos testing
Chaos
as part
testing.
of.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay. And then like in the chaos testing, obviously, normally the use cases are always like, switch off one server, wipe off one DB, and check the, reliability or stability of the backup boxes or the hardware or software angle. And then are you guys using any specific tools also for that purpose?
so we so more our entire product is built on a microservices based architecture. So we leverage Kubernetes a lot.
Got it.
So I mean, today the tool that we primarily use is KubeMonkey.
Okay. Okay. QMQ you say. And then obviously some of the use cases like switching of one load balancer, switching of one DB, that's anyhow manual activity.
Yes, we try to automate that as well,
Okay.
right? So we
Okay.
try to
Yeah.
automate that as well, so that so the usually the number of test cases that we have to cover from an automation standpoint when we make a release runs into a good 5-digit number.
Okay.
So that's just the functional aspects. So
Okay.
that's the breadth of the products that we are working on. So
Okay.
uh, manually, taking some of these actions like switching off a server, killing pods, all of that is not feasible. So all of those get automated. So for example, with KubeMonkey, we get all of these out of the box as configurations,
Okay. Got it.
killing pods and all of that, right? So we do that, and we also try to see what we can do, how our services can be more reliable when any network related configurations are off and stuff like that. So we do that.
Okay, wonderful. And okay, all right. Now coming to my next question, what is the most exciting part of your role you are doing right now?
From my vantage point of view, so I am we are working to help banks become better. I mean, deliver great experiences. Like, banks have been running their current business with existing credit card, debit card processing systems which are built like good 70, 80 years ago, and there is no actual reason for them to move unless and until we offer much more flexibility, ability for them to move faster, and also deliver what matters to banks most, a great experience to their end consumers. So today, a perception across the world is that banks are unable to offer great experiences
Yes. Yeah.
like what fintechs do,
Yes.
and for us that's the biggest largest enabler. So
Okay.
this is a metric that we cannot actually measure. This is a more human metric, right? Human measurement. So
Yes.
whenever we launch a product, after going through the grind, and when we see our customers, which is banks, coming and telling us that, hey, their customers had a very great experience. They felt that they did not feel that they were using a banking product, that they were using a fintech product. That is what keeps us excited. So I think for us at Zeta, that is the goal that we are chasing. We want to make payments very seamless. We want to help banks launch new kinds of credit cards and debit cards, and thereby help their customers get great experiences, right? So for us, we enable banks to do all of this, but we also have to handhold banks because our stack is completely new. So working with banks, helping them launch products and which deliver great experiences, and when they come back and tell us that, hey, we could really enable this use case because this was enabled by Zeta's tech stack. That feedback is what gets us excited.
Good. Okay. All right. And then you guys are working with only with the US banks or India banks also?
Both. We have, as of now, we have presence both in India and US. So we have customers in both places.
Okay, wow, nice, good. And then can you also give our viewers a bit of an idea what is the tool stack you guys use, overall tool stack for your majorly in the testing space? What is the tool stack you guys are using?
Okay, so we are primarily a Spring Boot based stack for
Okay,
development, right? I mean, I wouldn't say everything, but I would say a good 70% of our code is written there. So most of our testing today is done on JUnit. I mean, most of our unit test cases are written there. We use Selenium a lot
got
for our testing, for automating our testing. We also use Browser Stack
okay,
for some automation on experiences. So I think these are some top 3 4 tools that we use.
okay,
We are also getting to a point where our testing suites are integrated as part of our CI/CD pipeline,
okay,
right?
okay,
So from that standpoint, Jenkins, um, yeah, I think those are some tools that we use.
okay, wonderful, wonderful. Okay, thank you. um so are you when you're now managing all the teams, are you outsourcing any part of it, or you're doing everything in house for your quality journey?
So okay, we are a product company, which
Yes,
means that when we launch products, the expectation from our customers is also that it comes out with great
agreed.
quality as well. So as of now, we have an intention to invest in our own quality teams in
Okay,
house. We want them to be fully ingrained as part of the software development lifecycle. So, for example, if I were to take an example, if I if a product manager in my team were to come up with a feature to be built, right at the time he or she has frozen the requirements and wants to start building the feature out, the quality team is involved, has to be involved, because right when you're talking about, okay, build feature A, there could be 10 different corner cases which need to be handled and thought about from a functional standpoint. Plus, there also has to be somebody thinking that, okay, you know what, this is a feature that is going to have a life in the product, which is, it'll be born, it'll take its own form, it'll go through some changes, then it will become part of the product, which means I have to invest in automation. That is, I have to say that any new feature comes, this feature should not break. So there is an investment in automation that goes right in the beginning. So across all the products that I spoke about, ones that are in 0 to 1 and 1 to n stage, right now our intent is to invest in quality within the organization. But I do see that in the future we might reach a point where uh, we might need external help only for, let's say, maybe an audit to check whether the processes and the tools that we are using is optimal or not. And possibly if you reach a stage where we have uh, shifted left a lot, that is, quality and testing is happening right at the time the code is being written by the engineer. If we reach that point and continuous testing is going on, we will then probably reach a point where we just need to make some incremental changes to our quality automation test suites. Right at that point in time, we might probably consider outsourcing, but right now not.
got it. Okay, thank you very much. And can you just give us a bit of snapshot to our audience? What is like you told 10 product managers? I think you're managing about 250 to 300 developers, and then a sizable QA team. Is that right?
Yeah, per product, I think I would say per product. So we have about 4 to 5 products. So
Okay,
roughly per product, that's the rough size.
roughly 50 total 50 QA team, and then about 250 to 300 dev people, and then 10 product managers. Kind of thing.
Yes, maybe. Yes, I think about 40 to 50 from a QA standpoint.
Got it.
We will have a good 180 to close to 200, 180 to 180 engineers, and then we will have about 20 product managers too.
Got it. Wonderful. Yeah. And then I understand that, since you're a product company yourself, your whole intention is to manage the whole life cycle pretty much within the organization, so that people are in the same flow of the product. They are sort of speaking your language, rather than giving to any third party, that kind of work.
Correct, correct. Yeah.
Got it. Okay, wonderful. Sure. Um, and now coming to the budget part, how do you how do you manage budget? If yes, how do you manage the budget for your team, or what is the key metric you keep on measuring? Your management measures you that hey, you are able to manage within the given budget.
Yeah, I don't manage budget per se. But as part of somebody leading product, I think quality is also a shared responsibility. So I can't have a situation where the product is being launched and the quality is being subpar. So essentially, from a measurement standpoint, what we do is that for us, the number one metric, purely from a quality standpoint, is the defect leakage. So we are very, very paranoid about anybody finding out a defect that we ourselves have not been able to figure out, right?
Okay, got it.
Especially given that we usually launch products in a very phased manner. Like if you're launching a feature, we first put it through a closed user group and then it goes out. So the list of bugs that get identified by the closed user group, which have not been caught by us, is a metric that we chase, right? So that's something that we look at, and we have been paranoid about it for a good 3-4 years right now, and we are now at a stage where hardly anything comes through, but that's something that we continue to track. So even if there is one or two bugs that get caught by the group outside the team, that gets flagged up and that gets called up for a review. Something
Okay,
similar with incidents as well. Like if something breaks in production, we are paranoid about calling for a review, incident action items, and stuff like that. So yeah, so that puts the back pressure on the entire organization to make sure that quality is taken seriously.
got it. Okay, wonderful. Yeah. So means like what I understand from your point that defect leakage is being taken very seriously. Number one, either within the closed user group or a larger closed user group. Number two, even the especially production incidents are taken way too seriously. That how this incident can happen when we have tested so thoroughly
Yes.
in multiple stages, not only one
Yeah.
stage.
Yeah.
Because you're testing unit testing, you're doing function testing, you're doing system integration testing, then you're coming to which normally we call it UAT testing, but you are calling it closed user group testing. And I
Correct.
think closed user group also you have divided into two pieces. One is stage one, then is stage two kind of thing.
Yeah.
Got it. So basically, we can say you have put it UAT one. You invested money in UAT one, then you went to UAT two also to make sure, hey, no bug goes unnoticed to the when it goes to lakhs of users.
Correct. Correct. Yeah.
Got it. Got it. Okay. Wonderful. Okay. Now my next question is like, what is your perception of how the product quality will be managed after 5 years from now? When we look down the road, 5 to 10 years, what do you think? What are the key changes will come in managing for your role or overall life cycle of product quality?
Got it. So I think I can see some changes already. With
Okay.
the chat GPTs of the world, for example, I can very clearly see that in the last 6 months, uh, there was a time. I mean, I come from a time where test cases had to be manually thought and written. People had to write code.
Yes.
Now people feed in code and they get feedback from ChatGPT, and they're able to. The cycle time required to write test cases has shortened down big time.
Yes.
So I see that. So it's also helping the QA and the developer productivity because they are able to move faster.
Yes.
They're able to, and also coverage is also, I see an impact on coverage. So test case coverages are also improving because there's sometimes the suggestions from corner cases are wise. Human
Got it.
intervention is required, but I'm not saying that humans will not be needed. But I do see a trend where the developer productivity, whether it's a SZ or whether it's an SDE, the productivity is improving. I think this will become BAU. I mean, today it is new. People are excited about ChatGPT. I do think that there will be a lot of tools that will come out based on GPTs itself on automating and generating test cases. I think
Got it.
that's something that's going to happen a lot in the next maybe an year or two. I think a lot of tools will come out. Um, I do think that in the longer run, there could be an opportunity where the quality of test cases could also improve. For example, today we still rely a lot on humans for testing anything that's on the UI. For example, a color of a button, the placement of a pixel, placement of a text, right? While we do automate them with tools like Selenium and all, but I do think that there could be opportunities in automatically detecting something that's off by a pixel, right? By using anomaly detection and stuff like that. So tools like that also will come in. The larger impact would be that people. I expect a lot of applications that will leverage AI models, right, a lot in the next 5 years, and that is an area that is filled with a lot of testing challenges, because when you are dealing with models, there is no code, right? I mean, the data is the code. What you feed in
Yes.
is what determines the output. So the big challenge for quality teams would actually be figuring out processes and tools that help them be as efficient as they are today in a normal software, whether you're building a mobile app or a web app, right? You have reached a stage of efficiency and effectiveness. Reaching that kind of efficiency and effectiveness for products that leverage AI models a lot will probably be the next big challenge and area to work on. That's my
Good.
guess.
Okay, wonderful. Yes, yeah. Even I also feel that it's sort of derivatives of large language models will be a lot in the market, and then what ChatGPT has maybe done in I would say a functional test case writing or writing better content. There will be a lot of derivative models of coming of this one, which will even make even developer work or automation testing work, or even a lot of security testing work pretty much automated. uh,
Correct, correct.
there will be a lot more reduction of time, and obviously even work expectation out of single estate might be a whole lot more, that a single engineer should be able to do a lot more work than what they are doing now,
Exactly. Yeah, right.
sort of thing. Got it. Okay, wonderfully. um okay. So, any advice? My last question is: any advice to the overall community you want to give, like based on the future roadmap? What are the skills or what are the tools people should use to make their product lifecycle better or manage their career better?
Okay, I mean, I don't have anything very specific for QA. I mean, this is something that I tell, even product managers or engineers. I think the one consistent thing, I mean, things have changed a lot. Like in the last 10, 15 years, we there was a time where we were trying to access everything on web. Now we wake up with the mobile phone in hand. Tomorrow, I see days where I don't even have to search. I have an assistant that tells me what I should be doing. Right? We are reaching a point where technology is evolving faster and faster, and it's making our lives easier, making us more effective in what we do, is guiding us to do what we can do much better, right? But if we have to, as engineers and as product builders, if we have to stay relevant, I think we have to become learning machines, which
Got
means
it.
that we have to be on a continuous path of learning. We have to make investments, whether it is time or money, or the tools, to invest in learning for self, to stay relevant. Otherwise, I see that technology will start moving so fast that it would make a lot of our day-to-day work uh, obvious, and it would make it's possible that some of us who continue to have old habits in terms of our working style or our career, we might become redundant. So it's very important for us to catch up, and the only way to do is to think of ourselves as learning machines.
Got it. Okay. That's a good good word. Yeah, that's what even I feel like. I feel that every 5 year market changes so much. You have to adapt yourself. If you're not adapting yourself, you're pretty much outdated. And if you have not changed your skills or your tools for last 10 years, you are really backdated.
Yeah,
You're really working way behind the market. And then after 5 years, there might be very solid challenges coming on your way to adapt yourself. Sort of thing. Okay, all right. Good. Okay, Pati, that's all. I think that ends our podcast, and thank you for your time.
Yeah, Rupesh, thanks a lot. Nice talking to you.